whosoever shall look upon a woman to lust after her have already committed adultery in his heart. What does that mean? I'm going to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to YAHAWAH, BaHa, YAHWASHI, BaHa, QADASH. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all the fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And I definitely agree with the title of this video, that the elder apostle Tahar put up yesterday, the utter stupidity of the black church. Our people they're stupid as hell in that church, man. They're just, arguing with them sometimes, you can get pretty frustrated. You damn near lose brain cells, when you see how lost they truly are. And they really think in their minds that they're not deceived. They really believe that they know and understand what they're reading. But when you actually deal with them, it's quite clear that Jake is they're stuck. All right, but I was watching this video, and you can see that this guy, to this Aryak, he's toying with this Christian, which it was weird. This guy, he's a so-called Christian. But yeah, you look at his name, his screen name, it looks like a damn Muslim name. So that was a bit confusing to me. How are you a Christian, but you got a damn Islamic, Muslim name? So you could tell that dude is just, he's probably all over the place, man. And it's best to just leave guys like that to himself. He that's ignorant, let him be ignorant. But we know Tazaryak, he likes to entertain. He gets a kick out of, debating guys, like, the Sakari, they the same way. We don't really get into all that, man. We just teach and do the will of the Father and in hopes of reeling in the elect. We know that 2/3 of our people, they're going to be, they're going to be blinded. Okay. But, they talking about whether you can have, multiple wives, which is, polygyny, a man having more than one woman. They're debating if that's permitted in the scriptures, which clearly it is. It's in our law. Not every man did it, but, you had men who were well off and had the wealth to be able to take care of, multiple women, and they would, multiply children, they would build, all right, so on and so forth. Women were assets, to a man's household, and they were part of nation building. So some men, they was able to afford to have more than one woman, and then you had men who just had a woman, and then you had men who didn't deal with women. You had men that were eunuchs. Whether voluntarily, for spiritual reasons, or whether, they just it wasn't in their lot to have a woman. But it's definitely not unlawful to have more than one wife. That's obvious. All right, when you read about the tetrarchs, they had multiple women. Abraham, he had Sarah, then he had his handmaids. All right. Isaac, he had Rebecca. And then you had Jacob, in which he, went to his uncle in Haran and worked for him. And he liked Rachel. He actually loved her. She was the more attractive sister of the two, because, he had Laban had Leah and Rachel. He wanted Rachel, but the father ended up giving him Leah, and he got deceived when he went into the chamber and saw that it was Leah instead of Rachel. So he's like, all right, well, I'll work another 7 years and you give me the other sister. And he worked another 7 years. So he worked a total of 14 years and had both Leah and Rachel. And then guess what? They both had handmaids, and they gave them to Jacob. So you're going to tell me that Jacob wasn't a adulterer? According to the Christian church, our tetrarchs, all right, of the promise, they were all adulterers. Because, you know, if you have more than one woman, or if you deal with any woman outside of your wife, and if let's say that woman, you know, of course, if she doesn't have another man, or if she's not promised or engaged to another man, if you decide to get with her, that means that you committed adultery. And that's clearly not true. You err not knowing the scriptures. All right. So I'm at the part where he even brings out when YAHAWASHI said, if a man basically looks on another woman to lust after her, have committed adultery already in his heart. But they simply don't know what that means. So from their perspective, if you just look at a woman, period, whether she's married or not, then you commit adultery in your mind. So if that woman is not promised to no man, she's single, she's not engaged, she's not married, she hasn't lain with anybody, and if you look at her and you know you sizing her up and you know you gazing upon her, that means that you're committing adultery. Our people are crazy, man. And I would have been curious to ask him, okay, your wife, your current wife, before you married her, did you not look at her? Did you not, you didn't look upon her? You didn't say to yourself when you first met your wife or seen her for the first time that you definitely would consider, you'd get with her, you deal with her. And if he denies that, he's capping. He's a bold lie. He's a bold-faced lie if he doesn't admit to it. It's part of your biological makeup, man. We're men. We're visual. So if we see a beautiful woman, we damn sure it's gonna come across your mind. All right. But anyway, let me play the video, and then we'll get some understanding, and then we'll just close out.
Wife in the new covenant. Now check this out. Okay. But I want to ask you this question.
Okay.
You got a wife. You got to say you had a wife, right? And I'm getting into your personal life.
No, that's fine. It's hypothetical. Right? It's hypothetical. You good? Mm-hmm.
All right. Say you had one wife, right? All right. So you saying that it's okay to look at another woman and want her to be your wife too?
Mm-hmm. And is that other woman?
Well, Jacob, he did that. He already had married Leah, but he still wanted Rachel. So you saying that Jacob committed adultery on Leah? What are you talking about, man?
Single?
And want to have her? Yeah, she's single.
Yeah, she's single.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes. Listen, I did electrical on how to share your man.
So you can do that, right?
Hell yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
All right.
Do that.
So, okay. So why did Jesus say that if you look?
So you running from? So you don't want to do Matthew 19. You want to go to Matthew 5 because we were in Matthew 19.
No, because you just answered the question. You said you gonna look. If you got you a wife, you can look at another one and want her. All right. So now you just said you will look at another one and lust for her.
I didn't say lust.
You can lust for her. Lust means you have feelings. She look good, so she looking good. Look at that ass. Look at her ankles, her legs, her shape. Look at her hair. Look at her breasts. I do that all day, every day, man. Lusting after women. Now, if I know that the woman's married, I'll look away. But you can look at a woman and lust after her, even if you got a wife. If she ain't married, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. And you can talk to the woman and get with the woman. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, they act like Chris Rock in what was that movie? I Think I Love My Wife, when You know, he got his wife with him, but he sees old girl, the character played by what was her name, Kerry Washington, and he had to basically just walk straight and don't even turn to her. You know, just walk like you walking with your woman, and you see a fine ass chick walking, crossing paths, but you know, because you're a good Christian. You know, I'm just going to look straight forward. I'm going to just pretend like I don't see this fine ass, you know, thick ass chick walking right by me, you know, eyeing me and shit. You know, she ain't got no dude with her or nothing. She just walking right past you. You just going to just look straight ahead, and you're not going to even, like, your eyes are not going to even turn. You know, like, come on, man. Jake's simping hard. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. When I'm out in public, even with my woman, I make it a point to show my woman that sometimes I'll be looking at other females, and she'll laugh about it. She'll smile and laugh like I'll know. She already knows. She's like, y'all men, y'all gonna do what y'all do. You know, she turn around to see if I look back when I walk past a chick that looked like she got shape. Got some hips on her. Yeah, I'm gonna turn around and look when I walk past. I'm a man. Now, if she's walking with a dude, I'm not gonna do that. This dude's simping, man. Christianity teaches you how to simp, man. Be the biggest simp there is. A lot of simps are at church, and they're being ruled and controlled by their women, man. She wake him up in the morning and dress him, put his church clothes on him, like he her son and shit, man. I know that because I grew up in the church as a youngin', man, and I seen it. Dudes weak to their woman coming to the church talking about some amen, and then looking over at his wife and shit. Christianity messed Jake up, man. Anyway, let's real quick. Let's go into the scriptures. So he tried to use when YAHAWASHI said, "If you shall look upon another woman and lust after her, you have committed adultery." But is that just in general? Like if you look at any woman? Because if that's the case, then every heterosexual man on earth is an adulterer then. Matthew 5 and 27, it says, "You have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery." Right? Because that's the law. "But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her have committed adultery with her already in his heart." Let's get understanding on that. Like I said, Jacob, he looked on Rachel and he had more attraction for her, but he married Leah. But it didn't stop him from going after Rachel after he already married Leah. So was he committing adultery against Leah? All right, let's use common sense, man. I'll give an example that actually fits what YAHAWASHI was speaking of. King David. How did King David end up with Bathsheba? Let's get that account. And this is what led to the adultery happening. Now let's go to 2 Samuel, the 11th chapter. 2 Samuel 11 and 1. It says, "And it came to pass after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle, that David sent Joab and his servants with them and all Israel. And they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still at Jerusalem. And it came to pass in an evening tide that David arose from off his bed." You know, he probably woke up with a, let me not get too graphic, but, you know, sometimes certain mornings you wake up with that wood, man. You know. Salakia, man. It says that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof, he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. Now, this is where it all starts, because he happened to look down and saw this woman basically bathing herself. So he's looking on her nakedness and all that, man. He's looking at her. He's sizing her up. He like, oh, snaps. You know, her hair is out. Her hair is probably wet, long and wet, curly, you know. So you already know what time it is, man. He thinking with the man downstairs now. All right. David wasn't no sodomite, so it didn't turn him off. It says, and David sent and inquired after the woman. So now he got to send somebody to go and, you know, hey, you know what I'm saying? He sent somebody to go and put in a word for her. You know, hey, the king want to see you, right? And one said, is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? Hey, ain't that Uriah's woman? And David sent messengers and took her. So I just went through one ear and out the other, because all he's thinking with is the man downstairs. That's that lust. All right, that temptation, man. He got weak in this moment, because he was sold, man. He saw her in that, you know, that tub or whatever she was bathing in, and that was it. He just had to have her. This is what YAHWASHI meant. Because this was a married woman. This is why it was off limits. All right. It was wrong because that was a married woman. So he was already committing adultery in his heart to the point where when he thought upon it, he made sure that all things took place to where it was actually going to physically happen. It started in his mind, and then he lined it up to where it physically happened. All right. He meditated on it. Let me get this scripture in James real quick. Yeah, this is the book of James, chapter 1. And starting at 12, it says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, but when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High. For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust. In this case, David, he was drawn away of his lust and enticed. Then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin. Now you acting upon your lust. Now you getting ready to commit a sin unto death. All right, wisdom will try you, man, and especially here in Babylon the Great. That's a you know, every day is going to be a temptation like that, because these women in the West, totally out of control, totally out of order, and they have no shame whatsoever. A lot of them got men, but they carry themselves like they're advertising themselves to the highest bidder. All right, these women, they got their own harems of men now. Everything is totally backwards, upside down. Okay, they'll even lie to you and tell you they ain't got to do. Like I recently seen a video with this demonic ass nigger woman. You know, she the guy she was dealing with for like 2 years, he had just found out that she was a married woman. The entire time that they were in a relationship, he didn't even know that she was a married woman and already had a husband. And he confronted her about it, and she was just like nonchalant, like, you know, and so, you know, what's done is done, you know. we had what we had, and now I'm finna go to my husband, and I'm finna, and that kind of shit right there, man. All right, show you that these women are totally out of order, and the Most High, that's why He's gonna do a lot of judging. Okay, but that was wicked as all hell, and that's how a lot of these women have it to this day. So you got to be very careful with these modern women out here in Babylon. All right. It says, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Okay. So going back to David's situation, this is what did it, but the Lord had mercy upon him, pursuant to, the promise He made, because the Davidic line, all right, the Messiah was going to come through that line, and the throne was going to stick with Judah. Okay. So the Lord was going to have mercy on David, which, ultimately that mercy was going to extend to His elect, where the elect will be given the sure mercies of David, because they're going to be pure in the blood of YAHAWASHI. So continuing on, it says, and David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her. So she knew she was married to a man, but, she couldn't help herself. She's a woman, and women are attracted to power. This is the king. Everybody respects him. He's super wealthy. So she was just like, hey, she got weak, of course, and she was like, all right, and laid with him, knowing that she had a husband. For she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house. And the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child. So she's pregnant with David's child, even though she was married to another man. So what did David do? And David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did, and how the people did, and how the war prospered. And David said to Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. And Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down into his house, David said unto Uriah, comest thou not from thy journey? Why then didst thou not go down into thine house? And Uriah said unto David, the ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in the open fields. Shall I then go into mine house to eat and to drink and to lie with my wife? As thou livest, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing. Yeah, like your men is out there, all my kinfolks, they out there sleeping in them fields, because shit can pop off. Why would I go and have some pleasure with my woman when I need to be battle ready, right? And David said to Uriah, tarry here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And that evening he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his lord, and went not down to his house. And it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter, saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. And this is, this is where, it was wicked. All right. The demon was on David to set Uriah up, because he had to hide the fact that he already popped his woman and impregnated her. Eventually, if he was still alive and months went by, he would have saw his belly's wife swelling, and it would have been uproar. So David set that up to where Uriah was sent to the hottest, the most heated battle, and sit here, basically position him at the forefront of the battle, so he'd be one of the ones that will die. so that he can pretty much have his woman. You know, and that was wicked. All right. And the Lord, you know, he saw that, and that's why the Spirit hopped on Nathan. You read the next chapter, and he rebuked the shot at David. All right, and I want to in this chapter, I want to just go down to what a key thing that Nathan told David when he was rebuking him. 2 Samuel 12:7. It says, and Nathan said to David, thou art the man. Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul. And I gave thee thy master's house, and thy master's wives into thy bosom. So the Most High gave him multiple women. He had more than one woman, but yet he still took another man's wife, and that was the sin. That was what pissed the Most High off. All right. Here it is. You got these women, and you could have had even more. He's going to get ready to say it. You could have had all the women you wanted, but you had to have that woman. And that's like a lot of the Jake in the world. That's what they do. They know they got access to a lot of women, especially the famous Jakes, the celebrities, the athletes, but they'll still go after another man's woman. You got them demonic rappers that'll be at a concert or a show, and they'll take a woman out of the crowd on stage, knowing that, and they'll see that she's with a man. And her wicked, slutty ass, she'll still get up there on a stage and dance with the guy, and even go backstage. The rapper be like, yeah, send her backstage, man. I'm gonna deal with her after the show. And that a lot of that's happened, man. A lot of these women, they can't control it. All right, their nature, their what's the term? Hypergamous nature. They attracted to power, man. A man with fame and money, it's gonna be hard for them to turn that down. All right. But those men, they're fucking grimy because they know that they can have other women that are single, women that are available, but you want to have and take other men's women. So that's why there's no tolerance for adultery. Most High he will slay the fuck out of you. All right, he will destroy you, man. So it says, and I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives unto thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things. Like if this wasn't enough for you, the house, the women, I would have given you even more. That you had to go and take that man's woman and then cause that man to get slain so you can have her. Come on, man. Now, David was a man of the Lord, and he was ultimately forgiven for it, and he caught hell for it. The first child that Bathsheba had for him, he was put to death. Then the Lord, put demons on his son Absalom. He was trying to, get him out, take him out the game so he can become king. He was sleeping with with David's concubines and all that. So David caught holy hell after he did that. So yeah, adultery is wrong. But it's not adultery if you already have a woman and you decide to deal with another woman who's not married. All right? You can have, come on, man. You read throughout the scriptures, men that had multiple women and they had a lot of children. Read up on Gideon, how many children he had. He had more than one woman. So when YAHAWASHI said, if you look upon a woman and lust after her, have committed adultery in his heart, that's talking about a married woman. All right, now let's conclude that with a couple precepts in the Apocrypha. Let's go to Let's go to Sirach 9. Yeah, Sirach 9 and verse 8. It says, turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman and look not upon another's beauty. For many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman. For herewith love is kindled as a fire. You know, so in other words, you see a fine looking chick, but she clearly has another dude. Turn away your eye from her. Like if you go to the gym, there's a lot of simp ass men who think they won because they got a woman, you know, who's desirable, and he likes to flaunt her around, you know, allow her to show herself. You know, when you go to the gym, they pretty much advertising their body. The women, they wear the tightest shit they could find to fit skin tight on their body, so you can see every curvature she got. You know, you can see everything. All right. That's how they dress when they go up in there. And so men bring their women in there and she's dressed like that. If you see her and you see her with her dude, you got to pretty much pay her no mind. Like, don't even look her way. Act like she ain't even in the building. Because that's what they go there for. They go there to get attention. And the stupid ass men, they give it to them. They give them that liberty. And then wonder why, you know, he can't sleep too good at night. He thinking about, you know, what if. Well, that's you. You're not like the scriptures say, give the water no passage. You know, you're not telling her to cover her ass, put on some decent clothes, dress modest, so you don't attract that kind of attention. Yeah, these men on this side, man, they're terrible. They're the worst, man. But you won't find that on the other side. You won't find that in those Islamic countries in the Middle East, in Eastern countries. They don't play that. Those women cover up. It's when they come over here, that's when they get corrupted. All right, but this is what the scripture is talking about. If you don't look on another's beauty. You know, if she belonged to a man, don't look at her. Don't be staring at her too long. Don't be gazing on her. You might see her for a split second and be like, you know, she's good looking, but I see she with him, so let me you know, not pay her no mind. And the demons be on them. They'll start looking at you. They'll be eyeing you, you know, when she get away from her man. I've encountered that a lot in the gym. You know you with him, but you keep looking over at me. Or you looking through that mirror, looking at me, hoping that I'm checking you out. It says, for many have been deceived by the beauty of a woman, for herewith love is kindled as a fire, sitting at it all with another man's wife. Why? Because that lust is going to be conceived. You know, you get too close, that chemistry, that natural bond and chemistry between man and woman, that start to kick in. You know, when you have that intimate time with them, sitting and chit-chatting and conversating, and next thing you know, y'all getting closer and closer. Next thing you know, you're getting touchy-feely. It says, nor sit down with her in thine arms, and spend not thy money with her at the wine. Now you're adding alcohol to the equation. Come on, that's not a good mixture. You already know what's going to happen, man. Lest thine heart incline unto her, and so through thy desire thou fall into destruction. All right, and basically you putting yourself in harm's way by setting yourself up in that kind of situation. All right, and that's why the Lord talks about, you know, if your right eye offend thee, pluck it out. You know, if your right hand offends you, cut it off. Anything that's going to cause you to stumble and sin, you know, don't give unto it. You know, cut it off, man. Mortify your members. All right. It doesn't literally mean to, you know, gouge your eye out like that dude Houston back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember that dude Houston. He was an R&B singer, you know, and this dude took his eye out, man. He went crazy. But let me get another scripture. You go to Sirach 41, and I'm gonna just go straight to the point. And it's listing things to be ashamed of, but I'm gonna go straight to the point. Verse 22. It says, 21. It says, and to turn away thy face from thy kinsman, or to take away a portion or a gift, or to gaze upon another man's wife. All right. And, you know, you gazing, that means that you doing more than just looking at her. You looking at her and you salivating, you thinking of things to do to her. All right. You looking at her like Jake look at these women when they at the club standing against the wall. You know, looking at them gyrate in the middle of the dance floor. No, you're not to look on another man's wife in that manner. All right. That's what the Lord meant. That's it. That don't mean that you can't, you know, look at a woman if she's single. I mean, when you marry a woman, you definitely gonna want to have a physical attraction for her too. You want to be physically attracted to your wife. You don't want to just, you know, marry a mud duck. You're not going to be really happy with that. So, yeah, man, I agree. All right. It's just nothing but stupidity in the black church, man. And it shows. All right. But anyway, I'm going to close. I'm going to give all praise to YAHAWASHI. Hopefully this was edifying. Till the next time. Shalom.